What's up, guys? It's your boy Lamech here, and mahalo for joining me for another exciting, head-scratching episode of Insane Disappearances. You see, I'm rocking my Superman T-shirt here that I got from a friend of mine. I'm a huge Superman buff, but anyway, on the more important things. Today, this is going to be a case about Janet Federer. She was about 6 years old, I believe, and she disappeared. Yep, she was 6 years old. She went missing on 09/29/48 around 1 p.m. 10 miles north of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Okay, let's see. Mr. and Mrs. Clarence Federer and their family lived on a ranch that was 10 miles north of Cheyenne, Wyoming. On September 29, 1948, 6-year-old Janet was playing in their yard with her two dogs. Sometime around 1 p.m., her parents realized that she disappeared and immediately started searching for her. Let's see. Well, they were searching around their property for her at that point. Okay, now the Federers were shocked at the fact that they couldn't immediately spot Janet. Now, late on that first night, they were extremely nervous, and the sheriff had brought in some additional resources, to help with the search. Now, late that same night, one of their two dogs had actually returned to the property without Janet, of all people. Now, the one thing about that dog is that for some reason he wasn't acting the way a dog should act if the dog lost his best friend. But the one thing about the dog also is that he didn't want to leave the property, even though I'm pretty sure the parents was actually trying to get him to take them back to Janet, but he wouldn't do it. So something got him scared out there, when they first disappeared. What? I don't know. You can only wish that dogs could talk, right? But of course that's not the case, so it just leaves you with more questions as usual. Let's see now. Okay, the confines of the property. Yep, read that part. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. Now the next morning, local ranchers, farmers, and 800 people from a local armed forces base joined the search. A rancher had used his plane to actually search the area for Janet. Now he had he was flying about 10 miles north of Janet's home and thought he saw a dog, in a creek bed. So he lands the plane and he finds Janet lying on a creek bed with her dog, and found the other dog. The dog was actually near her at the time, so she was actually lying against the creek bed. So she probably was taking a nap, maybe, I guess. And like I said, they found the dog near her, and at that point, he picks her up. He takes her back to her residence, and after that they took her to the hospital, and they took some pictures of her. And on the picture, it showed that she had this really wide open stare. They said her eyes looked almost like they were bulging out of her sockets, and she had boils on her forehead. Now apparently this little girl, Janet, 6 years old, traveled at least 10 miles in 20 hours nonstop. Okay, how she was able to do that, I don't know. I've talked about this before, about how children can just seem to travel that far in such a long period of time and still be okay at the same time. Now, I would imagine that they were induced with some adrenaline by whatever it is that's taking these people, and it makes them able to travel that far, but you still be thinking, how did she get out that far? Who brought her out there? She had to have been carried out there. Nobody really knows. They just know that she disappeared from the property along with her two dogs. Okay, and dogs are always within these cases. You always find a dog with a child or with a person, a grown person, when they disappear. And a lot of times the dog comes back without the person. But the theory is that the jury is still out on that part where something carried her out there. What? I don't know. But they either induced her with a lot of adrenaline for her to walk that far, just so it could confuse us into saying, how could she have walked that far? She had to have been carried out there. But she probably did. Who knows? Maybe we underestimate our children, in those areas. Maybe they can walk that far. I don't know. Or if they were pushed to walk that far, maybe she just did it. Who knows? Or, like I said, maybe she was carried out there some way. Whatever way that was, I don't know. But that is one of the biggest mysteries in all these disappearance cases. When children seem to be able to walk that far, within a certain amount of hours. Just like the Keith Parkins case, where he traveled over 3 mountain ranges, a couple of fields, and a couple of fences. 12 miles in under 19 hours, and was found in a creek bed, mind you, just like Janet. Was found in a creek bed and was barely alive. The difference between them two was that he was barely alive and breathing, and she was alive, obviously taking a nap on the creek bed. So obviously she realized she didn't have a choice, so she just wanted to take a nap. And I guess the dog knew his way back home, so he came back. But the biggest mystery is, how did she disappear like that so fast and then end up somewhere else, to the point where you never saw her go away? Because, a little girl that age, you would think that you would still see her even after she disappeared. She would never really get that far, you would think. But I would think that something teleported her from that point all the way back to where she was found. I don't know. They didn't mention the condition of her feet. She never acted like she was, she had sore feet or anything. She just had this like distant stare in her eyes. And I'm thinking that maybe she was in a trance. And I've heard of people, when they're under hypnosis, they can do some extraordinary things because their mind is making them do this. It's like you develop the ability to do things that you wouldn't normally do with uncontrolled mind. If it's under control to a point where it can make you do whatever it wants you to do, you do it. I don't know. Maybe that could be it. She was probably hypnotized, or she could have been in a trance to where she was able to do that, like she was like a puppet to these people, and they caused her to walk all the way there. When she probably wouldn't have been able to do that if she was under her own control. She was, because, like, okay, if you take away your conscience, if you take away the part of you that says, I can't do this, it's too far. If you take away all those negative thoughts and you just leave the positive stuff, you probably could do it. You probably could do it. You could probably walk that far, and your mind doesn't create the ability to make you think that you can't do it. Therefore, your feet get. And I think it's mind over matter, basically. If you are able to control your mind to the point where you can do something and you won't get hurt from it or whatever, like walking thousands of miles, your body goes through a change. It becomes impervious to a lot of stuff, to where you can do that. Just like how people go through meditation, in extreme cold, and their body actually stays warm, and their body won't get affected by the cold. I don't know. Maybe that could be what her problem, what her situation was. She probably was hypnotized or was in a trance to where she was able to do that and travel that far. Maybe they just doing that as a joke. Whoever these people or beings are, they probably was able to control her to make everybody think that, okay, how is it that she got out there? No child that young can travel that far. No 6-year-old can travel that far, not even a 2-year-old. But yet, it happened. She was there. 10 miles away, okay? In under 20 hours. I'm just saying. Maybe these people have an ability to control people to the point where they can actually make them do anything they want, including travel thousands of miles. And they be under such adrenaline, their minds don't focus on the fact that, okay, you traveling this far, so I mean, your feet gonna get hurt. You know, you're gonna be in a lot of pain. But the only thing she suffered was boils on her forehead and scratches all over her cheeks. I mean, just hundreds of scratches, you know. So, I mean, how she got that, I don't know. I mean, it could have been some creature, maybe, I don't know what it could have been, but who knows? I mean, that's, I don't know. I mean, her clothes wasn't ripped or anything. Oh, they didn't say it was. Maybe she was running through some brush and the branches or maybe the thorns were scratching up her face. I don't know. But they said that she was just looking very off at that point. Like she was, like she had a very far out stare in her eyes. I don't know, but yeah, that's pretty much it on that story right there. It was a pretty crazy story right there, you know, of impossible feats, being able to travel that far, you know, without hurting yourself, or your mind is not telling you these things to make you want to stop. Like, okay, you're gonna get tired, you're gonna get cold, your feet gonna get torn up from all this walking. If you don't tell yourself that, and you can control your mind to a certain point, these things probably can't happen. I won't say I've seen it happen, you know, on TV, like with documentaries. I've done some of that myself, but not to that extent, you know, or to that extreme. So that's just me. But anyway, I gotta go. I gotta start getting ready for work. So, like I said before, I'm enjoying this, and I hope you are too. So once again, always imparting. Aloha, mahalo, and huiho. Peace out, guys. Be blessed.